Sorry for the bad video quality, and I have to use my phone because it won't reach in here. Today I'm working on my N7 bracers. I have them all traced out in the EVA foam. Here. What you need, Dremel tool with the cutting edge. Of course, you got high temp hot glue gun. I have shoelaces, I'll show you those later as far as where they go. Got my spray paint. This stuff seems to work the best. I got my painter's tape. I'll show you what to do with that later on too. And of course my Velcro. So first thing you want to do is you want to take Dremel tool, score along your lines to carve it in place. While scoring your lines, make sure you don't get too deep because you don't want the foam to break when you bend it. Just enough to break through the surface. This is the kind of foam that I use right here. I just use the interlocking mats. I got them at Sports Authority. They're double-sided. One side's got the texture, one side's completely flat. I think they go for about 20 bucks for 4. Alright, now the paint is drying on the bracers. Let's go ahead and show you what I did for the thigh cutout pieces. The way I curved it is I don't have a heat gun. For some reason I couldn't find one in the craft store, but I was still able to make them curved by using the painter's tape, and I taped the edges together like this, and then I hot glued support pieces in while it was curved, and it managed to actually keep a nice curved shape. Just a side note, it's very important that you traced the lines on the piece before you paint it, because as you can see I screwed up a few times. It's still not perfect. I'll grind these out. For now I'm going to get back to the bracers. They should be dry by now. Alright, so the bracers got done drying. What I did is I hot glued Velcro on either side, and then I took the shoelaces and I put them in the groove that I scored out with the Dremel. I got a little hot glue on myself. But I put them inside this groove and all the other grooves that I carved out with the Dremel tool. And then for this piece right here, I'm actually going to just sand it right out. So I got it sanded out with the Dremel. Right there and right there. All that's left to do is get some craft paint. Touch things up. See how I kind of screwed it up right there? So you just paint a gray line down here. Paint some black over the glue spots. And you should be all set. Alright, let's move on to the thigh pieces. They're going to take the longest. Alright, because of my ADD, I decided to wait for the hot glue gun to heat up to finish my other bracer. Just wanted to go ahead and show you what I did with the back piece and the front piece of the actual armor itself. What I did is I took some hockey armor, you can actually see it underneath here, and I carved out all my pieces individually. And what I ended up doing was gluing everything to the hockey armor itself. And then I found some fabric molding at Joann Fabrics and just kind of glued it around the edges so it looks a lot more finished. Along the bottom here, ground these pieces out with a Dremel, just sanded it straight through and painted over it with craft paint. Got this patch from some random website online. It was like $6. Hardest part was doing the collar piece. I actually had to extend it right here, and I still had to Velcro it down. Went online and I got some EL wire. There's a button right here. It actually glows, and I fished it through the pieces in the back. It looks really cool when it's nighttime. Here's the back piece. Again, this is all just glued to the actual hockey armor piece itself, so it's a lot easier to put together. This piece is not painted yet. I still have to paint the lines on the sides and finish this part. But I figured I'd just show you guys. I got these on with more Velcro straps along the sides. Right here. So that's what it looks like so far. It's a little off kilter. See if I can fix that. So we got that for the front. And this for the back piece. It's going to look pretty awesome once it's actually finished. I still haven't painted that at all, so. Alright, let's get back to these things here. Just wanted to show you real quick where I actually got these patterns from. Google searched for some armor online. I found this thing called the N7 Prop Codex, and it's got printouts and measurement tables and instructions, and actually has, just get down, actually shows you what each piece should look like. You can actually resize these if you have Photoshop, but I just kind of eyeballed it. There's a thigh piece right there. It's what it's going to look like when it's done. I have to trace all this stuff in. I'm going to use the Dremel tool for that. This is supposed to be two separate pieces, but I'm just going to grind out the middle with a sanding tool on the Dremel. I'll show you that in a little bit too. Alright, so I finished scoring the thigh pieces with the Dremel cutting tool. Remember, when you're doing this, you have to mirror the images, otherwise you'll end up with two of the same side and it'll look all strange. Also, be really careful when you're doing this. You gotta kind of grip it by the top and guide it really slowly, because it likes to try and run away on you. And also, when you're using a hot glue gun, try not to burn your knuckle with it. Just be really careful. It gets super hot. Alright, I'm gonna grind out this spot right in here with a sanding bit. Make it nice and smooth. Supposedly this part's supposed to be like that too, and so are these, so this might take a while. Alright, finished grinding out the pieces. See, I got the pattern all out now. Debating on doing the bottom part because it looks a little strange without it, but we'll see. Just a quick note, when you're done sanding these off, make sure you rinse them off in the sink, because all sorts of dust gets caught up in here. You gotta let them dry before you paint them. But they are waterproof, so it really doesn't matter, you know. Also, it makes a huge dusty mess, so make sure wherever you're doing it, you got plenty of space to clean it up. Alright, I'm gonna paint these guys and then throw some straps on them. Probably put the molding around the edges, and we'll see how they turn out. Sorry for the sideways video. Evidently the iPhone really sucks when it comes to shooting video footage. So I got my pieces all spray painted out here now, and take a quick look at them. I'll bring them over here so you can see them a little bit better, just so they match the other colors a little bit better. And while you're spray painting, make sure there's no bees around, because bees really like the smell of spray paint for some reason, and I got attacked a few times while I was out here. So let's bring these inside and we'll put some finishing touches on. Alright, so the fabric piece that I'm using, I got it right down at the fabric store. It's just a flat piece here, it's rounded on top, and I just been putting it like right up against the edge like this, just hot gluing it on. So the finished result, like I showed you before, looks just like this. Kind of rounds off the edges, makes it not look so strange around the sides. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some on these thigh pieces now that they're finally dry. So when you're gluing these little molding pieces on, just tape the first part on, so while you're fishing it around and putting it all over the sides, this piece kind of stays here and it won't fall off, make it a lot easier on yourself, and then that'll be the last piece that you glue back on. Alright, here's what it looks like with all the molding around the edges. There we go. Actually, it looks a lot nicer. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to fix the Velcro straps. I got to measure them first. And then I will take those shoelace pieces and do exactly like I did with the bracers and just put them all along these edges. And the knees I'm not sure what I'm going to do with yet. They're a little bit rough. So I might sand them down a little bit, paint through them, not quite sure. Alright, so just a quick clip here just to show you what it looks like once you get the shoelace parts on it. It actually looks pretty decent, even though I did kind of a shoddy job, but no one's really going to notice when it's dark, right? So yeah, that's what it looks like right there, all the way down. Now it's all that's left to do is just paint these pieces in. Alright, so I put the first coat of paint on. You can still kind of see through it a little bit. I'm no Bob Ross. I don't sit around, I don't paint miniature figurines like my friend Eric does or anything, but I think I did pretty decent. So that's what it looks like so far. What I'll do is I'll have a part 2 of this video. I'm going to put the straps on and work on the shin pieces in my next video and finish up the bracers and the forearm pieces. So if you have any comments or questions, feel free to drop me a line here and I'll try and answer them when I can.